Why did the Warriors get tight in game one?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it had to do with the Thunder. The way that they were able to control the pace, and they really applied the clamps defensively. They were doing a lot of good switching. They were able to rotate really well to cover for one another, and yeah, just taking away those turnovers that, as you mentioned, were kind of triggering easy scores earlier in the game for the Warriors. And once you take those things away in a game where Steph Curry really doesn't look quite like himself, where Klay Thompson has been forced to carry a big load throughout the game, then you're putting a lot of pressure on the Warriors to kind of find little ways to score. And we've seen them do that in game after game this season. But with the way that the Thunder were playing, with the athleticism and the length they have defensively, I think they were able to take a lot away.
Rob, do the Warriors have to rethink their lineup heading into game two?
I don't think they necessarily do. It really wasn't a matter of which players were on the floor and which combinations. I thought the lineups, by and large, were the ones that they wanted. I think they'll probably look at some things like Andrew Bogut's playing time, given his nagging injuries, and see if they want to adjust a bit there. But then you get into another issue with the Warriors, which is that Steve Kerr doesn't tend to give a lot of rope to their backup centers, to guys like Festus Ezeli and Maury Space. You see a lot of Draymond Green at center for that reason, on top of the fact that it's so effective. And so they may shuffle a little bit there. Maybe they'll play with, when Andre Iguodala comes into the game, or who he ends up playing with, or how much playing time a guy like Sean Livingston gets. But ultimately, I think they were getting the right kinds of combinations. They really just need to play better.
The Thunder, Rob, didn't play particularly well offensively. Durant and Westbrook shot a combined 17 for 51, and the team missed 10 free throws, but they were still able to win. How does OKC stealing game one change the tenor of this series?
Well, I mean, it obviously tilts the series just in terms of the home court advantage, where both of these teams have such great home crowds. And now the Thunder, between this series and last series, have become one of the most formidable road teams that we've seen in the playoffs in recent memory. And a lot of it has to do with their defense and the intensity they've been able to bring on that end, the maturity and the poise, which are not necessarily characteristics we attribute to the Thunder often, but they've really been on top of their game. I think Billy Donovan's done a great job of not only kind of putting the right guys out there and getting the right lineups and the right mixes, but getting these guys up to the kind of playing level that we really haven't seen from them all season. They've simplified some of what they've done defensively. They've done a great job, and that's really shifted things in their favor. I mean, I think the question is whether they can really sustain this high level of play on both sides of the ball when Durant and Westbrook are going to have to play huge minutes in every game of this series. And when, they're able to control the pace like they were in game one, it makes things a little easier just in terms of fighting fatigue and then not having to just run straight up and down the court quite as often. But if the Warriors are able to get into a good rhythm that's a little more lasting, it's a little more consistent, guys like Durant and Westbrook who are going to be playing well into 40 minutes on every game of this series, they're going to have a lot to account for. And so the tenor has shifted a little bit, but this is still, going to be a really good fight.